3 or 4 years ago now, building through there. It's been crazy how little town, nothing changes.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
20 years. You're so proud of this. That's 6 months and we still didn't know. She was built. Stop playing.
Oh.
Yeah. That's interesting. There's his car. I just I'm trying to couple of positives actually. It's not right. Yeah, I know the upset. That's what I've heard of positive people. Anyone can have a 708. See what they're doing. It's just it's there to stay.
Yeah, I just checked to make sure. I gave them the right date.
So we
Unless it's not, it's the 10th.
we can move along.
You-
Just reverse the order. See like.
We could, and then they're both like gentlemen. Two.
Yes, that's sevens.
Okay, all right.
I've never been all for 30 years.
Well, we welcome everyone to our Morgan City Council, February 10th, 2026. We should have a few come in a bit, but we'll proceed. Okay, Tony, would you be up to giving us the pledge?
Sure.
Dave, could you give us the prayer?
Okay, I can do that.
I'll stand and repeat after me, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Father in heaven, we're gathered before thee this evening as we begin our Morgan City Council meeting. We're thankful for the opportunities we have to come together. We're thankful for this beautiful valley that we inherit. We're thankful for the city, the people that administer the programs of the Morgan City. We're appreciative of the work that they do. We ask for thy help in making proper decisions for the benefit of the city tonight. In the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
Thank you. I'll entertain a motion to approve of tonight's meetings agenda.
So moved.
Should we swap active agenda item A and B?
Well, this is just for tonight's meeting, and then item 2 we'll have for last meeting. But the approval of tonight's meeting is what I just asked for.
And I will make a motion.
Of the agenda?
I'll
Okay.
make a motion. We approve the meeting, agenda meeting for tonight.
Second?
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second on tonight's meeting. Any more discussion? Okay, if not, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Janet, that's unanimous.
That looks like Calvin Paul. Is
Yeah,
that,
and to Lynn.
is that Calvin Paul? Been a day or two, hasn't it? Been a minute, Calvin. Sorry.
Join the club. Okay, Jeffrey, we can do what you were talking about doing and combining them. If you'd like to make a motion, or is there, first off, is there any changes to the minutes of January 27th in the work meeting, the council meeting, or the warrants?
Gary, can I ask a question here, kind of a point of order? If you were not at this meeting and absent, do you vote on this approval of the minutes?
Believe it or not, you can.
You can't.
You're able to do that if you've read them. And you could even go back and listen to the recordings if you wanted to, and you can vote on them. But yeah, you're able to vote on them.
Oh,
It's based on I know it seems strange, but you,
Yeah, because you weren't here to hear what,
Yeah.
well, but you could listen to the.
You could listen to
recording.
them.
Yeah, okay. But when we had,
you're approving them as to form, you're approving the form of the minutes and
when we had the open and public meetings training, I was thinking about it then. I thought, do you vote if you're not here? So on the minutes? Okay.
okay.
Okay. Does anybody have a motion?
Mayor, I'd move that we approve the minutes of city council meeting January 27th, 2026 of the work meeting of the same date. And the warrants from 1/24/26 to 2/6/26.
Do I have a second?
And I'll second that, Mayor.
Okay, all in favor?
Hey,
Any opposed? Okay, Janet, that's unanimous.
Could I, Mayor, I can explain that a little bit. And that is that if three members of the council are present at the meeting, at the prior meeting, and then you have a set of minutes that come up and those same three are not present, but another three are present, there could be a period of time when those minutes would not be approved. And so really what you're doing is you're approving the minutes of the meeting as drafted by the city recorder and otherwise you could delay the process. If you had a city council that were not consistently there, all three, the same three were not there every single time. The minutes of the meeting would not be approved for, for quite a while. That's kind of the logic of the thing, but I just wanted to let you know that that's what they're. So I hope that makes sense. Probably not, because it's illegal.
It's as much as it can.
Yeah, right.
Okay, we have a time here for some citizen comments. Do we have anybody here that don't have them yet? Okay. All right, you're here for our annual audit. We are excited to hear from you.
You're ready?
We are.
We ought to get that around there.
Should we have the Pauls go first? Oh,
Let me back up just 1 second. We had our public comment just walk in. So if you'd go to the pulpit and state your name and your address.
Hi, my name's David Zinn. I live at 283 River Cove Drive. And I've been cleaning up the trash in Morgan for the last year and a half, just picking it up on the side of the road. I consistently clean the river and the river paths, the fairgrounds, the tennis courts areas, up to the golf course, downtown, and Route 66. And I was hoping to try to get the folks that do the parade to maybe hand out the candy instead of throwing it. I was picking up trash yesterday and I was still picking up pieces of candy.
saltwater.
It's just an idea. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. Because it ends up running into the river. And I'm assuming that's some of the drinking water somewhere down. So I clean a lot of cigarette butts and things like that off the ground too. That's probably the number one thing that I pick up. I have, over the last year and a half, I've picked up approximately 55 gallon bags worth of trash and other stuff. So there is a lot more than you might think out there. But I was, maybe we could try to get the younger kids too at the schools motivated to keep Morgan clean. There's a lot of trash in and around the grounds and the parking lots. And I'm not trying to tell people what to do. I just want help and to get people to care about and be proud of a clean place and the river. And thank you guys for your service and your time.
Thank you.
Can I make a comment here?
You bet.
I appreciate your comments very much. I don't recognize you and I'm not sure you recognize me, but my wife and I almost daily are on the Mickelson Mile. We do the same thing. We'll stop and pick up trash along the Mickelson Mile. And it's always galled me to see things thrown into the river because we have this beautiful river running right through the middle of our city. The other day, there was a safety cone in there, and I've seen shopping carts in there, and that just drives me crazy. So as we're walking along, we'll quite often pick up things and put it in the trash receptacles as well. So I just appreciate what you've done. And I agree with you. It just irritates me, particularly over by the skate park where kids have left their McDonald's wrappers and their drink cups and all that sort of thing. Yeah, that drives me crazy as well. But I'm grateful there's people in the community that take the time to do what you're doing. And so I appreciate that. I appreciate that a great deal. If you want to get run out of town, don't let them throw candy at the parade.
Yeah.
That's all.
Sure. I figured that. I just,
But you're right. The day after the parade, you walk along the sidewalk anywhere and there's splooshed Tootsie Rolls and everything else, on the sidewalk and out in the road. I mean, you're correct, but yeah, I don't want to be the one to tell them they can't throw candy.
what if, maybe you could suggest to him, I talked to someone at the, Chamber of Commerce too, and we talked about maybe if the people that are sponsoring the floats could come around afterwards, maybe, I mean, it's just an idea, come around and just pick up some of it. Otherwise, you and I are basically the only ones picking it up. I mean, some other people are too, but, and I'm not going to stop picking it up just because of that.
But I appreciate what you do. I wish everyone felt the same way. So, because we have a beautiful city, a beautiful river running right through the middle of it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Appreciate what you
We
did too.
share meetings with the school and the county and that often. So I'll bring it up to the school. How's that?
Okay, yeah, and I spoke to someone at the school that never got back to me about, just saying maybe you guys could clean up a little bit afterwards, or I don't know, just a thought.
I know back in Calvin in my day, you cleaned up the parking lot when you got in trouble at school. You probably never had to do that, did you?
I had to do all of this kind of things. for
Thank
sure.
you.
Thank you guys. Appreciate what you do.
Appreciate what you do.
You guys have a great night.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Steve, would it make sense to do item B first, then the Pauls will
No.
have to stay?
Yeah, we just decided that.
Oh, okay.
They don't want to hear our audit.
Your minds are thinking alike here, Dave.
I mean, they're welcome to.
Both sides of me,
You're
middle.
getting it in stereo.
Voiced it, so we're gonna move to item B. And by the way, we'd like to excuse Ty from sitting here. His lovely face is on there. He's caught that whatever we enjoy sharing with each other. So welcome, Ty. Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Thanks, Mayor.
Doesn't sound good.
You got a bass voice now.
Too
Unless
bad
they
I can't
sit through
sing.
the audit.
So let's move on and review action resolution authorizing the city to enter into a delay agreement. Kelly C. Paul and Isla Michelle Paul. Did I say Isla right? Okay, good. For the delayed installation of the listed improvements along the frontage of property located at 330 North, 300 West, Morgan, Utah, reflecting the dedication of the property for the placement of said improvements and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement, resolution 26-05. So Ty, you got enough voice to carry this?
Sure. So, when somebody subdivides, then they're required to put curb gutter and sidewalk in. This is a minor subdivision, and the only requirement would be to put curb gutter and sidewalk on the 300 West portion, because the rest of their development is going to have a private road that they'll own and maintain. So those improvements will be made, but it's typically, well, we require it all the time, but a delay agreement makes sense in this case because the city doesn't know and can't tell them where to put the curb gutter and sidewalk. So we've never engineered 300 West. It's one we've been trying to figure out with all the ditches and head gates and how, power poles and to get the storm water to flow. And so it's we feel like it's at the city's advantage at this point to just delay until we have a project that does the design work. We've done delay agreements in the past, so you know the Priest annexation, well, subdivision was a similar situation where it's a UDOT road and we're trying to figure out when and where to have curb, gutter, and sidewalk, so we delayed there. And then the other two subdivisions, or the two projects that we just did, where we rezoned on 700 East, we are requiring them to put curb, gutter, and sidewalk in because we know where to place it in the right of way. So that's probably more just a overview of when and why we do delay agreements. They do have to dedicate the property at this point, just not do the improvements until we have a larger project ready to go. So
Okay.
does that make sense?
Mayor?
Yeah.
So remind me again, Ty, where are those delay agreements recorded?
On the property?
County Recorder's Office.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you just put a restriction on the lot, and then it shows up in a title search. If someone else buys one, then it shows the restriction on that lot. So it runs with the land. It's not just with the current owners. So we're pretty protected that way. When we did West Young Street, we just did that project last summer. There was one of those properties that had a delay agreement that we had an opportunity to have them participate as well.
So there is, Ty, is there, or Gary, is there a time limit on a delay agreement?
No. No, actually, there's not. And in addition to that, we always require the dedication of property so that we have the property in case there's a problem in the future. But the improvements themselves, that commitment goes into the future. There's no termination.
So you did,
in 2026, it's this much cost, but if it is 2056,
Yes,
it just doesn't die.
it may be more. Yeah, it doesn't. We had some in Layton that on Gentile, when we widened Gentile, that were, the price had probably tripled, if not more, because of the date. The homes came in the 1970s, 80s. But yeah, the idea is that they would share in the cost. And it's up to the city to execute on that agreement too. A lot of times if the city does an SID, for example, then that would be paid for by the city. Or if the city elects to put the improvements in anyway, that they're just improving the street as a whole, they may not ask for participation, or they can determine a level of participation at that time. So if it's unfair, the city can, in the case of Gentile, the city paid more than their share, but the individual participated. We had them participate. And so that would be up to the city. But the key is that we're delaying an improvement that the ordinance requires that they put in. And so when you've got a delay like that, you still have to meet the ordinance requirement somehow. So.
I think it's important to note also that there's a trigger in the agreement that says the city can call for that whenever they're ready.
so I have a question. So down on 300 West Island Road, so if that day comes that we put curb and gutter and sidewalk in, what would happen if that encroached a bit on their property? Or is that what you just said, that
the engineer tries to estimate the amount of property that will be required for future improvements. And most of the time we can predict the width of, the maximum width of the road. And so that's what we require to be dedicated with the plat. If we need more property, we would have to request more property, and there may be a negotiation. That has happened in a couple instances where we've negotiated more property for because we widen the road just a little bit more in exchange for our paying for the improvements. The city pays for the improvements. And we come to some type of agreement. But this agreement gives us leverage if we wanted to do that, if we needed more property.
So just for my knowledge and understanding, the delay agreement is just for the curb and gutter on the property, is that right?
And sidewalk as well. And
Okay,
there
and
should be a
sidewalk.
park strip in the middle of that as well.
So then they would be able to proceed with all the rest of the development?
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah, this allows them to move forward without stopping the development and trying to put
Yeah.
curb gutter and sidewalk in right now.
It looked kind of funky just to have it right
It
there,
would.
right? I know. We're still trying to figure out how to put it in for the length, right? It would like.
Try to do it. It's far off, you know, on the side.
Exactly. Yeah. Sounds like a good resolution.
We have some in the city that's a sidewalk for one house.
Is there a place
I think
for?
this is a much better solution.
Okay, did you want to make any comments, or do you have any concerns you want to voice, or?
We understand what's gonna happen, and as long as you guys are okay with it, let's go forward.
I just want to say you guys have already improved that property. It already looks better. You guys have been working so hard, but it already does look so much better. So I'm excited for you guys.
We're excited to. Don't know if it's a rumor that Calvin and Delenn are moving up, or. I mean, there's a few things that fly around that sometimes, it's not the correct statement, but.
I remember very much in the city.
It's exciting.
On a dirt road. Yeah.
Dirt for dirt.
Okay, well,
Mayor, then I am prepared to make a motion
okay,
that we adopt, approve resolution 2605, 26-05, a resolution authorizing the city to enter into a delay agreement with Kelly C. Paul and Island Michelle Paul for the delayed installation of the listed improvements along the frontage of property located at 330 North, 300 West, Morgan, Utah, reflecting the dedication of the property for the placement of said improvements and authorizing the mayor to execute the agreement.
I'll second the motion.
okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Janet, that passes. Okay, thank you.
You could stick around, and listen to the audit.
Might want that.
I know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Right. Okay, item A. Review, action, accept annual financial audit report, Gilbert and Stewart. Thank you for your work, and we're excited to hear what you have to tell us.
Well, thank you. My name is Ben Probst. I'm with CPA firm Gilbert and Stewart, located in Provo, Utah. Fortunate for me, we also have a satellite office in Heber. I reside in Midway, so glad to be here. Glad to be able to present to you your financial audit for the fiscal year end of June 30th, 2025. I want to thank both Janet and Ty. We came here one day and spent a lot of other time working on this. They were able to, when we were here, get the information we needed, and then we've been corresponding back and forth. And so I appreciate their dedication in providing us with the information we needed to complete the financial audit. Like you know, as an auditor, we come in and gather evidence. We'll select various transactions, review those transactions, tie them back into the accounting records, back to the general ledger, to the trial balance, and then eventually to the financial statements that were prepared by you through Childs and Richards, another CPA firm. So I helped eliminate any independence issue, having them prepare that. And they've done a great job there. And so we also send out third-party confirmations to the state and other areas of where you're gathering revenue, and we verify what you've recorded to what they've said they've given you, make sure there's no discrepancies and everything ties. And that comes up with the financial statements and with our audit report. Now, I'm assuming you've had a copy to look at or not, but I've also brought some hard copies I'll give out. But in the audit report is found on the first 2 pages is our audit report. And I just want to read one paragraph to you. And it's basically stating our opinion. And in that it says, in our opinion, the financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material respect the respective financial position of the governmental activities, the business type activities, each major fund, and the aggregate remaining fund information of Morgan City as of June 30th, 2025, and the respective changes in financial position and cash flows where applicable, and the respective budgetary comparison for the general fund and the major special revenue fund thereof for the year then ended in accordance with accounting principles generally accepted in the United States of America. So basically, this is the best opinion you can get. It's not been modified. And so it's a clean opinion for the city. There's also a couple other reports that are at the back of the audit, the financial statements. One is for internal control. We don't give an opinion, but we do review your internal controls. And we set a standard to see how those are working. We didn't see anything to report upon. And then the last report is a state compliance report that the state auditor's office has us look at. There's some items we look at every year. There's other items they pick every 3 years. And we look to and compare and inquire through management and others and through reviewing records to see if we're in compliance with those laws and regulations that the state has passed, and then we issue a report. We did have a couple of findings that is reported in a letter, and basically we had one finding, and that was a budgetary compliance. Basically in our capital projects and sanitation fund, we spent more than was budgeted. And generally, the states a lot of times will look more at the general fund, but these other funds need to make sure that we stay in compliance with what the budget is and that we don't overspend that. And that was basically the only findings that we had. Now, if you'd like, I can spend time and go through the financials, but I know you have other things to review, and if you have any questions, I'd be glad to take them. But that's basically my report. Yes.
I have one question for you. I think it's slide 53, page 49. It's the schedule of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance, budget and actual general fund. That's the title, the heading. My question is this: it's down on other revenues, interest earnings. How did we miss that so far? $306,000.
On the interest earnings?
Yeah. Am I reading it right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, you budgeted 391,000 of earnings to receive and only received 85.
Yeah. Yes, that's it.
For the current year. Yes, a couple of things that could reflect
Well, slide deck's 53.
is impact fees. You may have used up some of that, so therefore you didn't have the revenue coming in on the interest. I mean, generally, and then interest rates have dropped a little bit,
Yeah.
and that would be the only major things that I would see on that factor. Let me just look at,
I mean, the reason it caught my eye is it's quite a,
Yeah.
quite a departure from the budget. So I think, that's interesting.
because if you look at the comparable in your, on page 6, and I don't know if that budget is including interest revenue from your enterprise funds. Because if you look on page 96, or page 6, which is a comparable from year to year, in 2024, you had 97,896 of interest, 2025, 96 in the governmental funds. And that budget is just for the governmental fund, and I'm wondering, but then if you look at the business, we had over 300,000 of interest revenue. And there might have been some when the budget was prepared, that was including I'd have to go back and look, and I don't have that. If that budget was including that of all funds
Yeah.
when they prepared this budget. And so if that's the case, which that probably appears to be that way, looking at what was actually received, we may need to move more of that over to the enterprise funds and the budgeting when we're doing that.
Yeah,
But that's a good question.
that's what happened. If I can add to that, is
Uh-huh.
when we amended the budget at the time, all of the revenue had been recorded in the general fund. And then when we amended the budget to reflect the 300,000 that was in there, and then a journal entry happened afterwards to allocate the interest back through the enterprise funds. So we had been collecting the revenue in the general fund. And so we reflected so it's a budget mistake because we thought it was gonna stay in there, and then they hadn't been doing journal entries throughout the year. So at one point in the actuals, we had 300,000, so I adjusted the budget to reflect that, and then it got a journal entry after that point and reallocated back to the appropriate budgets.
Okay.
Sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, the same here.
More of a budgeting error than anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Ben, I have a few questions. On page 2 of your opinion letter, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th bullet point, the last bullet point says that in performing the audit, you will conclude whether in your judgment, Morgan City has the ability to continue as a going concern for a reasonable period of time. I didn't see any conclusion that said they could or could not.
That's a good point. I didn't see a going concern issue, so,
Okay.
yeah,
If it's not listed, then we're okay
yeah,
then.
right,
Okay.
yeah.
We don't need to specifically
No, because
state
if there
that.
was a going concern, then it would definitely be stated in
Okay.
the audit itself and in the
That's-
notes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
If it isn't going to continue, then,
Right.
then you make the statement.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, there was no issue of a going concern
Okay.
there.
Over to page 5, the management conclusion analysis. And Ty, you may have a better answer to this, and just maybe something in general. And as we go along during the year, we're talking about the programs and the events, and Ty keeps us up to date. And so I'm sure this is part of that. But to see that a couple of significant changes that come about when we come to the end of the year and report it, just maybe comment, Ty, if you would, on in general what those changes were. And that's the first one is governmental activities. They saw a net increase to capital assets of 2.8 million. Of course, you had depreciation in an addition of 3.3. What would drive the majority of that? Page 5.
I was just gonna turn to one section that might explain a lot of that.
And, you know, the statement says during the year ended June 30th, there were some significant events. So, and that seems significant where because of the size.
Ty, you're on mute.
Which line are you looking at, Dave?
Oh, sorry.
Right where it says government
Governmental
activities, the
activities.
third, just about the beginning of the page there, the government activity side had increase of capital assets of 2.8 million. And you can see that where you see it says assets, capital assets, you can see the difference between 14.1 and 16.9 is including your depreciation is 2.8 million. So that was a big increase. Just wondered if there was a major driver of that.
I'm not following along in the audit report, but we did West Young Street improvement project that used a lot of road funds that would have been general or government
Activities.
activities. Yeah, it's not an enterprise fund. The roads are within the
Mhm.
general fund. And so
Yeah.
all of our roads and utilities and all that, I think, count towards assets.
Correct. And if you, just to help you out there, Ty, if you look on page 36, the breakout for the capital asset transactions for the year. And so there for the governmental funds, it's showing there was some construction in progress, which 1.2 million then came into the infrastructures. There was 2.8 million of infrastructure, which would include the road and things like that. And then the depreciation and then other minor improvements, some land improvements, some machinery, motor pool assets and things
So it
like that.
appears it's the road then for the most
Yeah.
part. Yeah.
Yeah, mostly infrastructure, which was 2.8 million.
All right. Perfect. Going down to the bottom of the page, that was government activities on business type activities. Total cash investments increased by 1.4 million. Went from 4.2 in 04 to 5.6 in 05. Any big drivers on that? That come to mind?
Got back on page 5.
Page 5 at the bottom.
Oh, at the bottom.
Yeah, business type activities. Total cash and investments.
Yeah. So in our enterprise funds, we did buy a lot of the equipment for the State Street project in 2000 and last budget year, even though the project didn't get built until this year. That's part of it. And then I'm not sure how significant all of them are, but we also had the well go out that we had to rebuild the well. I just think it's just a little bit of an increase across all of the departments. I don't think one department increased significantly.
Where it's a business type activity though, and it's cash, wouldn't that be money that we're collecting for our, business type activities? Money that we've collected and.
Oh, I see what you mean.
1.4 million more this year than we collected last year.
Yeah, a lot of that, I think was in the power.
Yeah. I mean, if you go to page 19
Okay.
and 20 is a cash flow statement for the business type activities. which helps show the money coming in and where the money was spent.
Sure.
And it would show which funds had the most increase to come up with that 1.4.
Right.
And like you say, it's coming from various funds. It looks like 438,000 came from the water, 684,000 approximately from the sewer, 324 from the electric.
That'd be it. That'd be 1.4.
Yeah.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah,
Okay. What, I mean, that's helpful. It's across three different
Right, it
entities
is.
rather than maybe just a single one that, where we charging too much. So.
Right.
I mean, it's fair to have some, you'd rather have the surpluses than or the increases rather than the opposite, but that seems fairly comfortable to me to be broken up between the three. So thank you.
yeah, and probably a third of that came from interest
Okay.
too
Sure.
in those funds, so.
Okay. Dropping down to page 7, this one's just an observation. I'd comment on the very first paragraph there, business type activities. Water, sewer, electric, and sanitation funds had operating income or loss of, and out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there was only one that was showing a slight loss. We've had years in the past where we've had more showing loss than we've had income. So good work there, Ty. I think that was probably answered before. Here's a question, Ben, if you will. Drop down to page 9. Total assets of 45 million. These are government business type activities, and about the middle of the page there, we drop down to the bottom, a total net position of 37 million. I mean, you mentioned earlier in your letter, this is one of the statements that tells us or the world of the ability of the city to carry on and continue on. But that 37 million seems like a pretty comfortable position. In fact, it's 83% of the total assets. As you review other municipalities, where do we stand maybe in relation to other cities and towns? Are we about in the middle, or is that better than what you typically would see? Is it worse?
No, I think it's really good. If one thing you notice, 25 million of that 37 is all invested in capital assets, which would be your infrastructure, your utility lines, the water lines and all that. And so the majority of that is sitting there. As you know, there's also some restrictions that is for impact fees and road use that has to be used there. And so those are all, what you don't want to see is negative. And so we're in a positive position. And if you compare that with the amount of debt that the city has,
Right.
we're in great position, and we're able to meet our needs and paying those principles down each year. And so I think we're doing really good in comparison with others. I mean, yes, I think you're probably above average than the
Yeah,
average.
I would
city.
suspect that was the answer.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, right answer, good answer.
Oh.
But again,
But it reflects.
from your
here.
perspective of
Yeah.
seeing multiple entities, where do we stand?
Yeah, I think the city's doing a great job and is very fiscally sound in the government, in the way you guys oversee things and with Ty and managing the city, I think it's looking really good.
Yeah, great. Page 13. The statement of revenues and expenditures. Total revenues of 5.2, but total expenditures of 5.8. So that meant we spent 641,000 more than we took in. And of course, that decreases our fund balance at the bottom of the statement. Any concern there?
I'm just looking over this in where it was mostly the places where you've seen it. Not necessarily. I mean, our biggest amount was in our capital projects, which is sort of a safe haven for that if your general fund gets too much in there, then the state, because you can only maintain
Right.
35% of your revenue. And we're within that ballpark. And so,
Okay.
yeah, I don't see a concern there. Now, if it kept going, then of course, we're going to deplete that and we might be in a situation, but right now I don't see anything. I mean, you're pretty much trying to stay balanced and I think
Sure.
that's a great position to be in.
Yeah, we can't collect too much, but at the same time, we need to cover what we spend too.
Right. And you're providing, you know, all the things that the citizens are wanting and needing and to provide such a great community as Morgan. So.
Yep. Last item that I had is just on page 60, and I think you made reference to a letter and maybe that answers this, but about the middle, a little past the middle of the page under other matters. It references a letter to management dated December 31 of 2025. You mentioned one item and I'm not sure if that was related to this letter or not, but are there any items there that we need to be aware of? And should that letter have been?
That was that. And I
Okay.
thought I sent a letter to you that I don't know if she passed that out. And I do have copies here for.
Yes,
for
what
you.
I wonder, should that be given, made available to the governing body?
Yeah. I thought maybe she had passed that out, but
Okay.
if not. It's in there. It's in the packet. Okay.
In our packet that we received? I didn't see it. It's not in the,
It's not in the main report.
not in the main report.
There's this letter that was, this communication of governors, charged with governors. That's,
Forward.
I've got a copy here.
Okay, wonderful. And it appeared, or it sounded like that there weren't a lot of concerns, that maybe just routine stuff that was going along.
Correct.
And so I
Yeah,
just wanted to confirm that.
right.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, I think we're, and that report is the report that the state auditor's office
Mhm.
wants to see. And if there's any findings, then it refers to that letter. And that's what that referred to as the finding that I talked to
Okay.
about the budgeting items in those two
Great.
areas.
I'll take a look at it. Thank you.
Okay.
Appreciate all your help, Ben.
No, thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to provide and to do this work. I know this is our first year and found that, you know, everything seems to be working well and in good order. So
Great.
thank you.
Good report. We like good opinions.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Gary, I need a motion to accept this.
Yes.
Any more discussion?
Mayor, I'd move that we accept the annual financial audit report of 5. Yeah, no, not June 30th of 2025.
I'll second the motion.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, Janet, that's unanimous. Okay, thank you again.
Thank you.
Drive safe to Midway.
Maybe we ought to tell him he's best to go straight across the bridge and not have to hit the light.
There you go.
Good night.
Straight up the road here.
Right past the high school. Yeah.
That'll avoid our today's first traffic light.
Very first
Turned
time
on
that traffic
today.
lights turned on.
Over
It's
here when you
just-
come off
Freeway.
there, could be,
Oh, yeah,
yeah, there's,
You will avoid all of that if you just go straight here, into the bridge, turn
We're gonna
left,
get
and then
lost in
immediately go
Morgan.
right.
first traffic light and we have a McDonald's, so it's time to move to Cokeville.
We're grown up.
I'm thinking Grouse Creek, Utah.
I've grown up in Midway in that area.
Oh, that place is crazy.
Yeah.
For the audit.
So thank you.
So we're good.
don't look like
So
Cleveland
don't-
Valley someday.
So, council, is there anything that you'd like to report on?
I have a few questions.
Perfect.
I'm new here, so I might need some help with my knowledge base. So I think the hot topic of the town is the stoplight, right? I'm just wondering, that was a UDOT project, is that right? So we don't have any type of governance over that? There was no say when it went in, anything like that?
City took UDOT and some of their, what would you call them, Gary?
Engineers?
Engineers, but outside groups to analyze and make mental notes and written notes.
Yeah.
And as we walked from the church, the stake center, we walked all the way through Morgan City to the cemetery.
Yeah.
And we found quite a few things that needed to have some attention, but when we happened to walk past, under the underpass, it was school
The kids,
and crazy.
yeah.
So this is the idea they came up with, and Ty, I think you would agree, we don't have a lot of input on that.
No, so, the stoplight came from a earlier meeting when we met with the director and the planners. And we were talking about the congestion there and, looking long-term at what do we do with our intersections and stuff like that. And they went back and studied that intersection and then just determined that it warranted a light. And so once we expressed our concerns, but that's UDOT's answer to our concerns, is they came back and said that
We're doing it anyway.
we're doing a light. They studied it. They let us know. And I've never seen UDOT move so fast on
Right?
On anything.
on anything. So they did do a traffic study on the intersection, and that was their solution. But
Steve, you said there was a school crossing, children crossing problem or issue there?
Oh, yeah, when they come off the freeway, the school buses, the kids, the mining trucks.
Because
But it's not pedestrians, it's just
No.
the school buses.
It's traffic, no.
I see. Okay, vehicle traffic.
Yeah.
it's because they're using the new bridge, right? So they're going straight.
Right, go down,
Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
and then come up Young Street, but now it's.
Okay.
one
So that-
one
that
thing
would
we might
alleviate
have
some of that.
one thing we might have some influence on is the timing, because it's a timed light. It's not a censored light. If if it's not working real well, and if the timing's off where it's always just stopping traffic and it's not needed, sometimes they'll create more traffic than they'll, but we can look at that and make suggestions on shortening or lengthening the time that it changes, just based on the.
Is that a difficult request to ask for a sensor?
Yeah, it would be a lot. That would be a big ask, because the sensors would be in the asphalt, I think.
So they may not go along with it immediately.
Yeah. But we'll see how it works.
It is day one.
Yeah.
So then I have another question about that. As far as like city projects, again, because I'm new here, is there a like master project list of what's currently happening? I'm sure everyone up here knows except for me.
Yeah, so at the next meeting, I'll have a new capital improvement list that lists all of our major projects, and it has like low and high priority and short and medium term. So every year we do, well, lately we've been doing 2 or 3 projects every year off of that list. But at the next meeting, then I'll bring a copy of our proposed list for the next year for council to approve as part of our budget process. So then, that gets incorporated into our budget, and it influences which grants we apply for. And then just so you know, our list, we do have a master list. It's called a CIP, Capital Improvement Project list. We also combine it with the county's list at the Council of Governments, or the COG. And then they evaluate or score projects to get extra funding from the county to get some of those done as well. So
Makes sense.
Well, and also that capital improvements list is pretty helpful when the COG, Council of Government, has a couple of funding sources that the city can dip into as well. And so, correct me if I'm wrong here, Ty, but we also use that capital improvement to look at possibly some funding coming from the Council of Government.
That's great.
Corridor Preservation Fund, one of the quarter sales tax funds. So, yeah.
I have 2 more questions. Can you guys hang with me for 2 more questions?
We got all night.
The plaza that's being completed at Commercial Street, that's almost done, right?
yeah, it'll
And when I say almost done, when is it projected to be finished?
in the spring. So probably like March or April.
Well, spring was last month, Ty.
Yeah, spring was all, yeah.
Spring is
So-
over.
Been since October.
So maybe in the winter, I don't know if
Maybe.
Yeah.
Who knows?
March or April, whatever the weather brings. Well,
And if this is out of line, just tell me, is there like a grand opening or a grand reveal or some type of thing centering around that? A celebration, or we're just gonna have it be like it's ready to go? Kind of like the stoplight, boom, it's there one day.
yeah, no, we don't have any grand openings planned. And then there was also an effort to name it that we're still working on. So it doesn't have a name or a birthday party yet.
Oh,
But
maybe
if you would like to help with that, that'd be
because
awesome.
I'm the female member of the council, I'm like, let's throw a party.
What a head
No,
that-
because you brought it up.
Sure, give me a
Yeah.
budget.
I think what they're saying, Lorena, is you have the ability to do that and the rest of us don't.
To plan a party.
That could
Yep.
be true.
I don't know about that, but maybe that's something we should talk about. I think that might be fun to involve the community and kind of have a reveal. I don't know.
No, that's a good idea.
We'll make them aware of it anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Let's promote it.
let's promote it so people use it and know it's there and
Yeah, no, that would be good.
something to think about.
Ribbon cutting.
Yeah, ribbon cutting would be great.
Okay.
One more thing. The sign project that we have, I know last year when I was here as a resident, there was a talk about the speed limit and the issues that we have. I know in the neighborhood I live in, there's 3 residents who've had their own signs printed within like a mile. Have you seen them?
Uh-huh.
Oh, there's some good ones. So I'm just wondering with that speed limit sign project or the speed limit concerns we have in the city, have we circled back to that and taken care of that? Can we? Here's my grand idea again. Is there a way to get maybe speed limit signs that are the solar power that show your speed, actual speed, or something like that when we're doing this sign project?
Like the little trailers.
Yeah, the county has
Yeah,
they have one that we can use anytime we want.
okay.
Um,
That, or have you guys seen the speed limit signs that are like, they're there
Mhm.
and below they have,
Slow down or, yeah.
yeah, your actual speed? I don't know. I just know that where I live, the speed limit comes up often
yeah.
and the signs.
Yeah,
And
we have a sign project going right now that we could include that to add.
Yeah,
those
just
type
add
of
what
signs.
maybe the cost might be, not that every speed limit sign would have to be that,
Right.
but I don't know. I have no idea what an option is.
Do you see that patrolled much?
No, I don't see it patrolled at all, actually. Cause when I was here, when was it? Oh, last summer, I haven't seen, they're welcome to park in my driveway anytime they'd like to patrol it, but I haven't seen anyone down there.
I think we have a couple of hot spots. 700 East is definitely
Yeah,
a bad one, and then Highway 66
yeah,
is going after Young Street.
yes.
Do,
The high school to the bridge.
Yep.
Bridge. That's straight away there.
Yeah, that's-
Probably now the frontage road too.
Right.
I think they're gonna suck the door right off. House with the road.
Yes.
so that, by the way, we contract with the county for one officer designated for Morgan City. That's how we work our law enforcement. So I guess my question is how much interaction do we have with our sheriff's department? I mean, can we go to them and say, we'd like our officer assigned to our city to spend more time on Island Road? We'd like him to spend more time on 700 East. We'd like him to spend more time over by the high school. Do we even have that communication with the sheriff's department?
Yeah, we haven't told them specifically, other than mostly it's the crosswalk. So when we have them patrol the crosswalk, and then when we do have like a certain area that comes up, then we've had them in Wasatch Shadows before. But most of our coordination is on code enforcement issues. Not necessarily
I'm just wondering
traffic
if you,
until we hear that there's a
I'm just wondering if
specific
you
hotspot.
wrote five or six tickets down on Island Road, if that might
Yeah.
be a bit of a deterrent.
Yes. So if that's the feedback from council, like we know this neighborhood, because we don't monitor that, it's just the city workers, but if we get that feedback, we can just take it to them and say, we'd like to put a variable speed, not a variable speed, but a radar speed sign up, wherever we can do that.
So when you say radar speed sign, is that the trailer that this county has?
Yeah.
So.
It'll
can
say
I make a
it'll
request
show
on-
your speed, right? So you put it
Yeah,
like by the speed limit, just after the speed limit sign, and then it'll show your speed. And if
I
there's
remember a
speed
few
limit
months
sign.
ago, we had one by the city park that we requested that, and I actually went over and requested it, and it never got up, but it was broke. So I don't know if it's fixed or.
I'll have to find out.
They're pretty effective. I mean,
yeah, I think
me
that-
personally, when I'm driving somewhere and it starts flashing at me, it's pretty effective, I think, but.
Can I put in a request to have that put on the Island Road?
Sure.
And then if it doesn't get there, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So as things like that come up, you can just let us know anytime that you think about it.
Okay. Yeah, if they could leave it there for a few days, that'd be great, or a week. I don't know what their time is, but
Yeah.
because we have people all the time. There's horse trailers going down to Graceland. You've all heard the daycare, what is it, preschool down there. So we got a lot of moms zippity zinging because they're late.
Yeah. And it's good.
And a lot of kids on their side by sides and motorcycles and
Yeah, we've had them patrol that before, and they talk to the parents, and we had one on down in Wasatch Shadows that the residents were saying they're going 45 miles an hour, and then I went and drove it, and you'd flip your car if you were driving it that fast.
they actually weren't.
Around the corner, and then we put up the sign, and then you actually know what the
Yeah.
streets are, but just a little extra focus, anywhere we can do that for sure.
Okay, thanks.
You bet.
I think that's all I have.
Thank you. And that's awesome. Thanks.
Yeah.
Okay, any more discussions?
You know, when the account was here, I failed to thank Ty and Lori and staff for their work in finances. I mean, year after year, we receive a clean, if you will, they call it opinion. And this one, in my mind, is looking as good as almost any of them. So Ty, thank you for keeping the city on a firm foundation.
You're welcome. That audit took a lot more than our past auditor did, and I don't know if it's just because our past auditor was familiar with us.
I think that's some of it.
Yeah, because they came and sat here but I don't know. I was maybe hoping for more findings or something. The amount of work, the amount of work that we
Count
did.
your blessings.
Yeah, after all that work that we did, and then
Uh-huh.
the reports, just the numbers again, just the normal, like.
Yeah.
But it was a good
Well,
audit. But we apologize it took so long. It seems like the deadline is December 31st, and then
right.
inevitably we don't get the audit report until February. And
I mean, does that get us in any trouble?
no, there's just some people that like the bank requires it on an annual basis.
Sure.
The state, we got a 60-day notice from the state because we didn't post it on the auditor's website. It's not necessarily in trouble. It's just a delay that is a little bit annoying, but we'll try and get it faster next year. Now that they've had us a year, maybe it'll go smoother next year. But
Our contract is for how many years?
5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to hear they're thorough, though.
Yeah.
We have to appreciate that.
Yeah. No, it was good.
But if you'll pass that along, thank you to all of you.
Yeah. Thanks, Dave.
That's all I had.
Gary, you got anything for us?
No, I've just been listening in the bleachers, the legislature, what they're trying to do to us again this year, but it always, like I say, looks like a tsunami, and then hopefully by the end, there's a little bit of sense, but Ward's got a bill that requires minimum densities or maximum densities in all of our residential zones again, and I think he's gonna push that pretty hard. There's a lot of changes that they're proposing in the area of of our property tax and how that's collected. And some cities didn't get their certified rate this year because of the way that they reported things. So they're trying to fix that, trying to become more specific so that problem doesn't arise again. There's a lot of land use stuff going on right now. Some conversations about the gas tax as well. And that's still ongoing. But we'll try and keep you, as these things kind of firm up, maybe bring back to you, especially maybe where they're at, whether Lee Gas, where you're in contact with your legislative officials up at the state. I think that's important. Morgan does have a voice. We're the only city in the county, and we do have a voice with our legislators, and so we'll let you know when you should be getting an alert if your emails are in with the league. If the league has updated your emails, you should be getting alerts when they need help on a committee, or they'll generally send those alerts out to the cities and the city council people that know the legislators on that committee. So yeah, it's a little bit frightening, but you always hope sanity prevails. You just never know. So
Seems like, Gary, there's always one or two just onerous hotspots every year. regarding cities like ours in particular, is there anything happening right now for the moment?
You know, the longer that we're up there and the more years that go by, it seems that the legislature tries to reach into the power of cities
Mhm.
to do the things that they do. For example, inspections. There's a bill on inspections this year. I think we
Mhm.
handle inspections very well as cities. I don't see that there's very many that don't. And a lot of times when the legislature actually looks at what they're complaining about, they find out that we've complied. A very, very high percentage of the cities are in compliance. And so a lot of it is just perception. But the problem is with each perceived problem, they reach farther into what you do here, you know, what you do on the ground level. And that's the thing that always concerns me. More things are being turned over to committees that the governor creates or that the legislature creates. UTA is a good example. That board will likely turn to less of a local board, more to a legislature run board. There's just a lot of things like that are concerning. And then when they start to deal with your money, you know, with your gas tanks and your property tax, how it's collected, capping property tax, those types of things. It's a serious concern, you know, for us. So, we'll keep an eye on it. I'm not as involved as I used to be up there, but I do attend the LPC, and I think Ty, when he doesn't have anything else to do on Monday for lunch, he's hops on as well. And so we'll try and keep you informed and let you know what they're doing to you. Hopefully,
How much
with
we're
enough
getting
time to be able
beat
to
up.
change their minds. So
Thank you.
that,
Well, it can definitely get too big, can it?
yes, government. It does.
Okay.
Mayor, ma'am, I mentioned one thing. So I mentioned this to Ty, and thanks, Ty, for jumping on this as quickly as you did. At a committee meeting, Wasatch Integrated, last of the month. And Preston, who's the executive director, had a breakout of how we're doing on our recycling. And so what they'll do every once in a while, they'll pull a sample from Robinson Waste or something. And I'm talking now just about our recycling cans, not our black cans, but our recycling. And we were at about 80% of what we send down in our recycling cans is used either as recyclable materials or what they call engineered fuel. So 20% they're unable to use, but a large percentage of that 20% was glass. And so I talked to Ty about it. And Ty, thanks. I noticed the next day it was on the sign, or the next day or two, and Preston noticed that as well. The executive director lives here in Morgan. So just remind people.
Was that Morgan in particular or just in this?
It was,
the
yeah.
System in general?
No, Morgan in particular.
Okay,
They'll
that's
take a
good to
sample
know.
of an area. So, yeah, just
This would be like glass jars. and-
it's on the top of your can. It says no glass, but we ended up with, I guess, quite a bit of glass from in our area. So, yeah, just remind everyone that no glass. And Ty put it on our sign too, like the next day or two. So thanks for doing that, Ty.
So our staff did that, so Teresa and Wanda got right on that, and it was nice because Wasatch Integrated already had the graphics. We didn't have to create the content. They had already made a no glass brochure,
Right.
and so that's why we got it up the next day, is because they created the content, and Teresa got with the county to make sure we had the same messaging. We got with Wasatch Integrated, and all the material was there. We just had to put it together and put it on the sign. So it was good. Thanks for letting me know.
That's great.
Thank you. Okay. Well, this meeting's adjourned.
Does Ty have any updates?
No, I'll just do an email. I'll just do an
Okay.
administrative update by email this week, if that's okay.
That works. I like that. Get out of here.
All right. Go home and get better.
Sounds good.
Mustard baths.
Mustard.
I thought it was that it was in the. Yes. So much. So. I'm glad I can pass it on. But for sure, people are smart. You're welcome.
Now it's 6, 7 on these. They're starting to show a fine too. Yeah, I don't think I'm that old.
I don't think you should.
The scooter motorized scooters, reverse bikes.
Mhm.
You got flatter, right? And there is, there we go. Very.
60 miles an hour.
Like David loves it. He said, we love it.
Oh.
Yeah, that's.
Oh.
That's the state.
It's easy.
You know what happened there?
Okay, everyone take a sweet roll home. Or we're gonna take that. Yes.
For you, not. Take a meal before you get home.
Take one home. Oh, good.
Hey, come on, reach.
One of these, he would love, they try to play from him, like there. I just want to talk to you as a full one. There's, I have a black.
Did you make these, Jen?
No.
I just saw.
I just they came from, she very cool.
Oh, really? For there, there's a lot of Tuesdays, Wednesdays. Here's your picture.
Cat is her mom. And they live
This is a business. You get up and.
she just, she goes on the way. I'm going to the side.
It's kind of like.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the lane station. That's great. She just freshly made. But we have a fight and then we do.
Yeah.
So because they had a sound. But I don't know if
The golds or not, but yeah, he's a gold.
Yeah.